alaikum, my name is Shireen Palestine. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be making the fastest, most nourishing and enriched mlokhiyeh in the Instant Pot. Yeah, you heard me, in the Instant Pot. If you want to know how to make this, just keep watching. Alright, first things first, I am going to be washing and cleaning my chicken before adding it to a pot of water with some apple cider vinegar and some cinnamon powder, and that's going to deodorize our chicken and make sure that it is very bright and fresh when we eat it. I'm going to bring this pot of water up to a rolling boil for a single minute and tossing out all of that water. That's going to ensure that our broth has no impurities and it is very bright and clear and has no lingering bitter taste. That aside, I'm going to get started on my rice because it's going to give our rice a chance to sit, making sure that it's very fluffy and it allows the rice grains to separate very nicely. That is one of my secrets to consistently perfect rice. Okay, so to a pot, I am melting some butter. Now, if you don't have butter, you can use oil. I love the nuttiness that the butter gives the rice. Now, I'm going to be popping in some vermicelli. This is a very popular way to make Middle Eastern rice. It's just a pasta, and we're going to be toasting that in the butter until it's a caramel color or until you notice that the butter stops bubbling. That just means that the butter has browned and perfumes that rice with that very beautiful nutty flavor. Now this happens fast, so I usually have my water and washed and drained rice already on the side before I get started toasting it. This is washed and drained basmati rice, okay? And if you have trouble making rice, try the parboiled one. It's going to yield a perfect result every single time. Now to the rice, I'm going to be adding some salt and bringing it up to a boil on high before dropping it down to low for 15 minutes. After which I'm going to turn it off and let it sit. Now here I have my Instant Pot. I'm going to be putting my chicken on the poultry setting and then dropping it down to 12 minutes. I don't want to overcook my chicken because I am going to be broiling it for an additional few minutes, up to 15 minutes under the broiler. Now if you don't have skin on chicken, just leave your chicken in the mlokhiyeh and serve it that way. But since I have it, I'm going to take advantage and crisp up that skin really nicely. So here I have one big onion peeled. You don't have to chop it up. That Instant Pot can cook a chicken. It can cook that onion through and through. So here I am adding some dried bay leaf. I am so lucky. I get these from my mom's bay leaf tree and then I take them home and dry them. Next, I will be adding some cardamom, and this is what I like to call the trinity of Middle Eastern cooking. So this is the base of any good broth. Onions, bay leaves, and cardamom for those really beautiful deep aromatics. So I'm going to add some hot water, and this is going to bring our Instant Pot up to pressure far more quickly. And now I'm going to add some chicken bouillon. And some salt. Now I'm just going to move them around slightly to make sure that everything is mixed in there before I close my pot and let it come up to pressure on its own, making sure that when I close that lid, I hear a beeping sound. So specifically, the Instant Pot is going to beep, making sure that steam release handle is on sealing, not venting. That is how it creates pressure and cooks our chicken very quickly with a deep, rich broth. Okay, so now I am getting started on my complimentary garlic sauce. We call this mtawame or da'a. Now I am going to be using lemons, chili or jalapenos, whatever you have on hand, and garlic. I happen to have just broken my juicer, so I had to juice it with that little juicing thing you just saw, which was very terrible because the lemons were very tough. And I ended up juicing it by hand. And of course, my children lost the mortar and pestle that I would usually smash the garlic and the chili into a paste before adding it to the lemons. But it's okay, you can totally use a food processor. You can use even the sides of your knife to kind of smash it into a paste as much as possible, as you see here. If you continue to do that, they do get very smushed. Or you could even use an immersion blender. I honestly don't care how you do it. You could even leave it just chopped. It would be perfectly fine. The flavors would come out very nicely. I don't know about you, but I think you're gonna think I'm crazy for saying this, but one of my favorite things in the world is smashing and peeling garlic, because I don't know, it's just so satisfying when it comes off in one piece. Anyways, so I'm going to be peeling and smashing some garlic, using half for the da'a or mtawame, aka the lemon garlic sauce, leaving the other half to be fried with some cilantro so that we can add to the mlokhiyeh at the end to level up our mlokhiyeh game. Now, you can leave it like this. It is not the end of the world if your sauce is chunky. It's actually really pretty. But if you want to blitz it up in a food processor, or if you have your mortar and pestle, go ahead and use that. Now my chicken has finished and I am going to be releasing the steam valve. Now do this very carefully, making sure that your finger is not on top of it because it is steam. It'll melt your skin. Once that float valve has dropped, signifying all the pressure has been released, we are going to be opening up our lid. And again, make sure that your hand is away and you lift away so that you don't burn your hand. This is really hot. And this is one of the easiest ways to get a very, very rich broth. All right. Now, like I said, if you don't have skin on, you can just keep your chicken to the side until your broth is complete. Or you can pop that chicken under a broiler, letting that skin crisp up, adding more flavor to the final dish. To use what you have on hand, it is not the end of the world. Now I'm going to be salting and peppering my chicken to add additional flavor, making sure that that skin is also really nicely freckled with the fresh cracked pepper. To broil it, I'm going to be placing my rack at the highest level straight underneath the broiler for about 15 minutes, and that'll give us enough time to get our mlokhiyeh ready and have our table set. So here I am, clearing my broth of all of the aromatics which have done their job. Thank you guys, we appreciate you. It is now time for the star of the show, mlokhiyeh. It comes from the jute plant, and it's considered a superfood. It has many antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals, and I am going to be using the minced version. So you can get them in whole leaves or the minced, like chopped up, as you can see here. You can even get these fresh and pick them. When it's available, I get it fresh, or you can get it dried. So I'm using the frozen version. This is the fastest, most easiest, and most consistent result. Do with what you have. I have them thawed out here, and I'm going to be pouring it directly into the broth. This cooks very, very quickly. You don't need to boil this for hours and hours. And I have the recipe in the description box so you know how many cups of broth to add to your mlokhiyeh. When you're using your Instant Pot, you don't have to add or boil down your broth. It is the perfect amount. That's why I prefer using my Instant Pot, but I will have all those details in the recipe. Okay, so getting my fried cilantro and garlic ready. If you do not have fresh cilantro, just use dried cilantro as I'm doing here. When using fresh cilantro, keep in mind that you have to add it first to the oil to give it time to fry down, since it does have a lot of water in it. Now, if you're doing it the way that I'm doing it, you're gonna add the garlic and cilantro while the oil is cool so that that garlic fries slowly to a perfect golden brown. Once it is finished, take it off the burner. Do not leave it on the stove. It will continue to cook, so stop there. Now our chicken has had enough time to crisp up to perfection, and all that's left is to add our fried cilantro and garlic to our boiling hot mlokhiyeh. All right, guys, listen to this. Yes, salam. Oh my god, the fried garlic and cilantro deepens and enriches the mlokhiyeh so perfectly. Do not do without. You will notice that this is something very common in Middle Eastern cooking. Pro tip, do not cover your mlokhiyeh, or that color, that bright beautiful color, will darken to a black, so keep it open. Okay, let that boil for 5 minutes while we set the table, and look how pretty our rice is. Literally every grain is separated. It is not mushy. It is not undercooked. It is perfect. And I know it's perfect when it crushes under my fingers smoothly and evenly without completely disintegrating. Yay! Now all that's left is to just put it all together. You can ladle some into a bowl or directly onto the rice. That is up to you. Squeeze a lemon on top or add the lemon garlic sauce. Put it next to a jalapeno or a chili. But it is perfect as it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys give this a try. For whatever reason, every kid and their mother loves mlokhiyeh. Alright guys, if you haven't watched last week's video, I actually did mini asabi' Zainab. Click in the upper left hand corner to watch it. Of course, let me know what you would like to see next week, and I will see you in the next one.